All right, Dune Part 2 picks up right where the last one left off. Paul Atreides is thrust into the desert where he becomes a revered figure for the Freeman, while his mom is assuming kind of like a spiritual leader role. Despite Paul's sense of, I don't know how to structure it, but obviously doesn't want to do it. It's kind of the mentality of heavy is the head that wears the crown. And in usual structure, the person who should lead is always the person who doesn't want to lead. And the people see him as a messiah. And with his mom being a spiritual leader, she's pushing the idea of him as a messiah, which complicates the journey. Gurney ends up showing up. He's a smuggler now. He's been on the planet the whole time, kind of spice harvesting with a group of people. Paul is still dealing with everything and is taking out the Harkonnens spice gathering that they're doing officially on the planet. Gurney and his crew are doing the smuggling version, but when Paul finds Gurney, Gurney gives him the keys to the armament that his dad's family had left behind, because you find out that all the great houses have these wild atomic armaments, each one of them, which I kind of now get the sense that these great houses aren't really great houses that work together and trust each other, but more kind of a established acceptance of peace because we all have essentially nuclear weapons we could hit each other with. So, kind of crazy. Meanwhile, the Harkonnen plot is unfolding. Baron Harkonnen's grandson, Fed Rautha, rises to power, creating chaos in the north. When he gets to Arrakis, he kind of takes up this really aggressive position once he's given the keys to the kingdom on Arrakis over Robin, played by Dave Batista. Batista, again, still the best actor out of all the wrestlers, bar none, easily. Sorry, Cena, not sorry, Rock. You know you ain't that good. Anyways, the Ben Gesserits reveal that they've planted other seeds around who Fade Rotha, Austin Butler's character happens to be one, and kind of indicating that they have a web of schemes and alliances throughout the great houses. Paul gains foresight through this dangerous ritual, discovering that his lineage and his destiny while facing internal conflicts about embracing his role. It's just kind of this weird sense of first of all, he finds out that he's Baron Harkonnen's grandson, which in of itself is crazy. You find out that his mom is Harkonnen's daughter. The only reason they find out is because they went through this dangerous ritual where they discovered their lineage, because they took the baby sandworm's venom and it kills men if they take it, but women can survive. And I guess because Paul is the Messiah, he survives it, but not before Shawnee, played by Zendaya, is the one that saves him, because one of her single tears, because even her name, her like secret name among the Freemen, is a nod to the fact that she is part of the lore of the Messiah, which she's not down with. She doesn't like being played or used in this manner. She really doesn't like it, which was the thing I found the most interesting about her character, because unfortunately, anyways, I'll talk about that in a second. But the tone oscillates between intense action and political intrigue. Christopher Walken portrays the Emperor, adding a little bit of comedic relief because he kind of plays it as this really sad old man who likes having power, and Florence Pugh, who's his daughter, is kind of playing this role of, he's kind of training her, but you find out that she's technically part of the Bene Gesserits. So, as much as her father kind of helps her understand how she could lead, you get a sense that because the Bene Gesserits have these intricate alliances all over and they manipulate everyone with their multiple plans. No egg in, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You got to spread them around, which I don't know. It kind of feels like their plan is a lack of a plan, in my opinion, but she is working with them, so she's also kind of falling in line, which is weird. So yeah, Christopher Walken kind of gives us a slight comedic edge, and obviously he's not trying to be comedic, but just by the nature of him being Christopher Walken, he has moments where he is just being himself, and even just in talking with Florence Pugh's character, you see this sense of like, well, how would you handle this situation? And it's just like, I don't know if that's the best way to deal with that, but anyways. So you kind of end up in a situation. The climax of the film, Paul is defeating Fade Roth in combat because he's now defending he's now fighting on behalf of the Emperor, Christopher Walken's character. He's also killed his grandfather, the Baron, because him and the Freeman attacked the base where the Emperor showed up on Arrakis because he realized he had to come down and like deal with the situation. So he shows up, the Baron comes to him, they are having their whole meeting, but the Freeman attack the base. Paul walks in, stabs Grandpa, says, "Hey, Grandpa," which was kind of a weird moment. Yeah, she doesn't actually say it like that, but you know. So he stabs Grandpa, goes over to his people, tells them, "Okay, these people are all prisoners. Kill all the guards. Let's meet back over at the other palace." Wild. So the climax sees him fighting Fade, who's Fade Routh, who's Austin Butler's character, and Zendaya's character feels sidelined. You know, at this point, she's Paul's love interest. She lacks a little bit of depth. Similarly, Florence Pugh's character adds intrigue but feels underutilized in those moments. That's, I think, my biggest issue was seeing the women are all supporting characters to Paul Atreides' Messiah run. I guess technically every character is a side character to Paul Atreides' Messiah run, but the women specifically come across as like it's his mother, it's his lover, and it's his potential wife. And that to me felt like they were shoehorning these characters into these cookie cutter positions because Zendaya's character, in all honesty, felt like she could be a lot stronger. Her dedication and appreciation of her people and the freedom and her disbelief in applying a religious framework to freedom for her people was great. And if anything, made her a more interesting freedom fighter. And the fact that she gets sidelined throughout most of the movie by being blinded by her love for Paul was unfortunate. And I'm sure that's how the books are written, so that's how the movie's gonna be. And it's just kind of an outdated thing, so it was kind of depressing to see because Zendaya is so strong as an actress. Well, yeah, you know what? Zendaya is strong as an actress. Florence Pugh, great and strong as an actress, and it was just unfortunate to see them be like that. And Rebecca Ferguson, same thing actually. So, anyways, despite impressive cinematography and action sequences, the final fight between Paul and Fade was lackluster. Austin Butler definitely had more fight training, or if he didn't have more fight training, just has more natural skills. And the fight is overshadowed by the plot's demands that Paul has to win. So, you know, the film sets the stage for a third installment that could be really interesting. I hope Villeneuve is going to be directing again. And, I heard someone say that the first movie is an appetizer, the second movie is an entree, and the third movie, I guess, will be dessert. But this kind of felt like appetizer, second appetizer, because the first appetizer was so good, you decided to have more, like try a different appetizer, let's say, and then that one's not as good. So now we are going to get the entree, and that's how I felt about the film. Anyways, all this to say, I liked it. People should go check it out. Dune Part 2 with Timothée Chalamet and a whole crew of great actors. And yeah, Denis Villeneuve. I look forward to another one.